Think about your day. How much time do you spend staring at this glowing rectangle? 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe seven? Your phone is practically an extension of your hand. It's where you talk to friends, read the news, and maybe even find love. Now think about your dreams. You might dream about showing up to work naked. You might dream about flying or falling or being chased by a giant spider. But when was the last time you pulled out your smartphone in a dream? If you're like most people, the answer is never. Despite spending a massive chunk of our waking lives glued to our screens, smartphones are basically non existent in our dream worlds. An analysis of over 16,000 dream reports found that smartphones appear in only about 3% of dreams. So, what's going on? Why does our brain completely filter out the most common object in our modern lives the moment we fall asleep? The answer lies deep in our evolutionary history, the structure of our brains, and the very nature of human emotion. Let's dive in. To understand why our iPhone doesn't make the cut, we first need to look at a concept called threat simulation hypothesis. Proposed by Finnish neuroscientist Antti Revonsuo, this theory suggests that dreaming didn't evolve just to entertain us. It evolved as a crucial survival mechanism. According to Revonsuo, your dreaming brain is essentially running ancient firmware. It's an evolutionary virtual reality simulator designed to let you rehearse dangerous situations so you're better prepared for them in the waking world. This is why we so frequently dream about primal fears, being chased, falling from a height, or facing social humiliation. These were real ancestral threats. But a smartphone? A smartphone isn't a threat in any primal sense. It doesn't trigger that deep, ancient survival instinct. Furthermore, during REM sleep, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logical thinking and most recently evolved area, quiets down. Without it, we revert to a more primitive state of mind. In the deep theater of your ancestral brain, the smartphone simply hasn't existed long enough to be written into the code. But wait, you might say, my phone does cause me stress. What about a terrifying email from my boss or a devastating text from a partner? Doesn't that count as a threat? Yes, it does. But here is where we encounter the second reason. Your brain cares about the content, not the packaging. Dreams prioritize emotional weight. The physical object of the phone itself carries almost no emotional significance. It's just a piece of glass and metal. As psychotherapist and dream researcher Bridget Holzinger explains, if you use your phone to stalk an ex before bed, you will dream about the ex, not the phone. Think of it like watching a movie. If you watch The Terminator right before bed, you might have a nightmare about a cyborg assassin. You won't have a nightmare about your flat screen television. The brain extracts the emotional core of the experience and discards the delivery mechanism. Your phone is just the delivery mechanism. There's also a physical reason why phones don't make the cut. Dream researcher Kelly Bukeli points out that technologies that do appear frequently in our dreams, like cars, airplanes, or boats, have a massive sensory footprint. When you drive a car, your whole body is engaged. You feel the vibration of the engine, you smell the exhaust, you see the world moving past you, and you physically steer a heavy machine. It's a deeply visceral experience. Now compare that to scrolling through social media. You're sitting completely still. The only physical input is a faint pressure on your thumb and a glow in your eyes. Despite the mental stimulation, the physical sensory input is incredibly low. For your dreaming mind, which builds words out of robust sensory memories, scrolling on a phone simply doesn't provide enough raw material to work with. Finally, even if your brain wanted to render a smartphone in a dream, it lacks the processing power to make it work. During REM sleep, the stage where our most vivid dreams occur, the language processing centers of your brain, specifically Broca's and Wernicke's areas, are largely deactivated. This is why reading and writing are notoriously difficult, if not impossible, in dreams. So if a phone did appear in your dream, it would be essentially useless. The text would be garbled, the screen would shift unpredictably, and you wouldn't be able to type. Since a smartphone without readable text or functionality is basically just a useless black rectangle, the dreaming mind tends to just leave it out entirely. Dreams are highly visual and emotional, often feeling more telepathic than verbal. A device designed for reading and typing messages just doesn't fit the medium. In a strange way, the absence of smartphones in our dreams is a comforting thought. In our waking hours, we are constantly tethered to the digital world. We're bombarded with notifications, news, and the curated lives of others. But when we close our eyes, our ancient brain takes over. It strips away the glass and the algorithms, forcing us to confront our raw emotions, our primal fears, and our deepest desires directly. Our dreams remain one of the last true sanctuaries from the digital age, a place where the packaging falls away and only the human experience remains. Have you ever seen your phone in a dream? Did it actually work? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dreaming mind, hit the like button and subscribe for more explorations into the weird science of everyday life. Until next time, sweet dreams.